La 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 la. Sybel Specter, strange stories. Hello, and welcome to Sybel Specter's Strange Stories, or SSSS. I'm Sybel Specter. I'm glad you heard my call. Was it the striking of tingsha cymbals or the sound of silence playing in your ears? I'll let you think the decision to be here was your own. It always was. I have a story to tell you. I must. There is nothing else for me to do. Do you meditate? I cast that question with a wide net. Meditation can be many things. It seems the most common way, or at least aim of meditation, is to sit until your thoughts silence. The world around you vanishes and you enter the void. I'm not inclined to this type. You'll get there eventually, you know? You can also meditate on a subject, like the evolution of trees or the discography of Christopher Lee. In my home, Ilam, when people weren't slamming wooden tankards at the pub or going at it with each other again in all the ways people can, there were those who meditated. It came naturally. Between takes, all they did was shut down until the next same scene day. They'd sit, stand, often frozen in some motion, or stare off into space, so seeing that they were blind to me, flashing them. Meditation became conscious to some extras over time. It was swinging medieval 1966 after all. I barely noticed the townspeople tuning in. I had ambition to make it in the big production. The story I have for you today is about a woman who meditates her way to mystery. This one is called, What Do You See? In this meditation, you will keep your eyes open. Blink only when you must. If necessary, place your fingers on your lids to hold them up. The morning is being let in, and she lets it in. Usually, the light, the way it makes her see the mess of things, hurts her eyes. But it's not as punishing as the dark, which brings out a greater population than the sun. Take a deep breath. Alan obeys. The inhalation ends in her chest. It doesn't go all the way to her gut. Not yet. Do not be afraid. The guide's voice is gentle and smooth. It is the soft, oversized t-shirt she'd worn to bed, the one that belonged to her father, whom she was named after. It is the freshly laundered duvet cover that she sits on, with her legs outstretched. Let's start. Alan curls her hands into fists. What is in front of you? She has always had trouble looking in front of her. It almost hurts to do. Even while driving, her eyes wander to the sidewalk or into the forest, an ever-thinning guard on either side of the highway. Her eyes begin to rove in their sockets to take account of her surroundings. Her childhood bedroom was meant to be the master bedroom. Her mom moved out of it after her dad left, just before she was born. There is no place more familiar, but she is surprised by what she sees when she looks at it. A photo covered in layers of dust. 3 trophies. One of them for a high reading level in 4th grade belongs to her. The other 2 were topped with little men, both lacrosse players. A funeral program, folded in half. When was the last time I played with that doll? She wonders, looking at a vintage girl made of cloth, wool, with a dress of flower sack. The guide sighs. She reads it as annoyed, but laden with expectation and patience. Do not look up or down. Do not look side to side. What is in your direct line of vision? How far and deep do I look? She asks herself. Alan blinks and unfocuses her eyes to look straight at nothing. Her sockets ache in protest. What do you see? The guide says. Air. Pixelated. Maybe she needs glasses. The sun-slipped sand shoots through the blinds in a streak. It is diffused and gauzy in the rest of the room. The shaft of light illuminates motes of dust. Whose shed skin? Probably hers. Do not think. Look. A hardwood dresser handmade by her great-grandfather. The edge of it is chipped. There are water stains from cups placed on its surface. No. That is beyond vision, into the realm of memory and the unlived past. What is in front of you? She blinks, and the closing yellow-green bobs in motion. Open, big toe peeking through a hole in her sock, pilled fabric, a stain hiding in a fold of the pastry-puffed cover. Blinks, a slick red body floating in a vast space, tangled in a rainbow of threads. Open, a small, flat screen that blurrily reflects her form. The frame of the television is dull. She thought it was shiny. Smudges on the screen. Not fingers, but palm prints. When she was young, she believed she saw figures looking back at her in the night, held back by the frame. Don't attach thought or memory. Notice scratches in the paint behind the TV, slanted and about the length of a twig. A flash of sight. She resists it. Blink. A fistful of hair. Open. There is a figurine of a bunny with listening pink ears that was always so there that she hasn't seen it for years. Blink. A woman with an army falling out of her hair. Look. A smiley face drawn on the wall in pencil. Beneath it, a phone number never dialed. That number had been long gone. It had not lasted very long. Notice. Blink. A thick white petal. Look. Brown edges, pink veins. Her eyes fight her. Ears to the ground. Blink. Open. Blink. Open. Blink. Blopen. The room. Lavender, mint, and pink rug stapled to the ground. Foot finished wooden floors. A bookshelf to match the dresser. A bed frame that has initials carved into a post. The bed. Her on the bed. Look. She lifts the thin skin beneath her eyebrows with her fingertips. Open. The guide breathes. Alan breathes. It stops above her navel. She sees. Her, getting up from the bed. There she is, kneeling on the dresser, untaping the Mary-Kate and Ashley poster her mom had put up for her, replacing the image of Jesus to write down the phone number. Dirty socks. Sun stuck on bare shoulders. Thick, dark hair like a sheath. Lovely is what she sees. Giddy is what she sees. Her mom didn't only have eyes in the back of her head. She had them all over her body and lodged in each wall. She knew before Alan could peel the brow of Ashley's head away. She stopped Alan before the number was written. What do you see? She hasn't blinked. What she sees, extends, grows, does not alter, but clears like a new windshield wiper over her vision. The walls are pale pink. Texaco Star Theater plays on a black magic TV. A portrait of a blondish but tanned Jesus with large dark eyes looks up at an embroidery of a rose. Behind him, a photo of a man and woman in sepiaed black and white stare at Alan. They too do not blink. This man and woman are also on the bed. They're in the process of killing each other. They take turns saying, "You're going to be the death of me," as the sun rises and sets. What is in front of you? A ball, suspended in the air. It is lost within the bodies of so many men before it hits the ground. They play the game close to one of the mounds in their ancient town. Are you looking? The layers of a tree. Each layer peels away to snow blanketing, body concealing, mushrooms ruffling, arrow penetrating, lichen coloring, lovers' hands caressing and pulling, silken dark hair a murmuring and soft glow, roots sucking and saying to other trees, "Hey there, get a load of this. What do you see?" A tired question. She was tired in bed each night, but never quite able to sleep. Sometimes she'd drift away, only to return to lucidity with her mother standing over her, repeating, "Do you see?" The stomp of a giant feathered and scaled foot. Suddenly, teeth. They tear at the hot, bright flower that holds cool, liquid, holy chalice, sacred drink. A petal falls. It fell from the casket that will hold her mother. The earth that shows delight by fire and flood becomes ocean, and the creatures swim alongside other creatures who had no choice but to return to the sea. They live together in a tower decorated with corals and jeweled with scales of those who couldn't get along. Hair floats. It gets in her eyes. When it parts, the land is a marshmallow forgotten over the campfire. A child with skin that matches their home leaps over lava streams. They land on their feet and listen closely. What am I seeing? Her eye, the bullet going through a shotgun house. Kids splayed out in the living room playing dolls. Her bedroom cuts into the kitchen where there is grown-up talk going on. A man entering, a man leaving. The mouth of the tree. Through its lips it holds a family and its deep palate. They see as she sees, sharp and humped, scabrous and snot-skinned, winged and possibly large to emerge from such an orifice. They have a human man with them. They are holding the hand of a child, one that has known sunlight, hard work, and coaxing what earth is sometimes happy to give. A skinny, stick-like creature with spider eyes laughs, revealing red meat that turns out to be a fig. Alan makes a sound that is an in and out of air at once. They turn. About time. They have watched her grow and shrink, sleep and do private things. They have seen her, animal, her, new thing. No, they see. They see what is happening from the walnut tree. She digs her nails into her scalp. How populated. Do they see her room? Do they see the late night reading by flashlight and lipstick drawing kisses on her face from strange mouths? The image fades. She blinks. Thought vanishes. There is no other earth. A child sits on her bed, thumbing through a comic in a language that looks like English if she didn't know English. The child has dark hair that pulls on her thin thighs as she hunches over to read. Alan enters the room. "Ma?" the child whines. This Alan doesn't respond. She adjusts her thick glasses. Below her lip is a fat, shining scar. It is another lip. She is all mouth. Her mouth's open when she sees her mother and father enter her bedroom. Her mother is very pregnant, so pregnant that it is time. Her father says, "Take a deep breath." Her hunching mother tries but can't. It turns into a chesty grunt. He guides her to sit on the bed, then kneels in front of her and smiles. She looks an inch above his head and shivers. "Do not be afraid," he tells her. "Alan, what do you see?" her mother asks. "Everything." She'd know her mother from the back of her head. Of course, the way even then when she was almost young, with maybe one gray hair, there was a bald spot, red and angry and flaky, almost like a burn that had been dug by long, naturally French-tipped nails into her scalp. Her mother straightens. She places her hands on the sides of her father's head and turns it until he is forced to twist his torso. "What is in front of you?" Alan shrugs. "A TV? I know. You told me to use coasters, but right now there are more important things to worry about." He stands. She bats at his hip, moving him aside. There she is, on the bed. There she is, never alone. "We need to get you to the hospital," her father tells her, taking her hands. She scoots farther back on the bed until her legs are extended in front of her. Another contraction sets her on fire. Alan moves her long hair to the side as he rubs her back. Her mother fights to keep her eyes open. His hand slides to the small of her back. He taps it and says, "Let's start." She cuts him off. "Do you see?" He pushes her gently, whispering, come on, and lower. "Woman, you're going to be the death of me." She repeats herself, veins popping out of her neck. "What are you talking about?" He moves to the front of the bed and waves his arms. There is nothing. She holds her eyes open and says, "What am I seeing?" Alan turns and punches the wall above the TV. With a mother's strength and speed, she kicks the back of his knees until he crumples to the ground. She grabs a lacrosse trophy and hits him in the back of the head. Blood seeps from a crater a woman could not have created on her own. She continues to bash him long after he loses consciousness, pausing to bite her lip in an effort to suppress the tearing contractions that come so close together they almost touch. When it is done, she rights herself as much as she can. Her face is glossed red. What had she seen? She had seen death. She had seen life and death. Alan crawls into herself and helps disappear the father she had only known through a picture obscured by the skin of time. He had taken off when her mother was in labor. Where? To the ocean. To a memory. To another family. Gone to another life. Under the floorboards. She helps her mother deliver the baby, whose head was already on the way out. "What do you see?" she asks the newborn before she can take a breath. The child clenches her fists, then opens her gray-blue eyes. All she can see is Alan's face, so pale that it is bright. Alan was born again by the end. Welcome to your world, baby girl. I meditated on this story between the last word and the beginning of my goodbye to you for now. I considered if she was reborn to possibility or the same old story. Sometimes I feel like I am the characters in the stories I read. Is that empathy? Perhaps. Really, I think it is because I am so good at my job. I can become anything, anyone. I'm grateful to my savior Nina for seeing me, but I must confess that I wish I could be immersed in each role entirely, to see beyond the posters of figures whose eyes are always following me as I move from armchair to bed, to under the bed, to the wall, avoiding the noisy closet these days. I want to give it all to brighten my star. Meditate upon me, audience, so I can fully inhabit my story. Until next time.